Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon. Today, we're going to be talking about frequently asked questions and misconceptions we hear in the farm stand about farming. That'll be fun. The Colorado potato beetle and the devastation that it leaves behind. We were just visited by a wonderful infestation of Colorado potato beetles. I'm going to talk about how we dealt with that. And fall crops, okay, what we can be picking, or actually what we are starting to pick right now, and what we're going to be putting in those beds that are going to be empty soon for our fall garden production. That's what's coming up on the SGF. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. Well, here we are. It's July, midway through, and it's hot, and it's wet, and it's weird, in a good way. That brings me to, well, pest management. PMI, Pest Management Integration. So, where do I want to go? All right. Recently, I noticed that our potato crops were, for lack of a better word, infested. Infested. Bunch of freaking Colorado potato beetles just hanging out everywhere. And, at first I didn't know what they were because I don't think I've ever seen the larva stage of the Colorado potato beetle. It looks like this Tim Burton, James and the Giant Peach looking creepy thing. Big fat orange, black spot, bulbous creature just sitting on your foliage. You're like, you look like a slug and a beetle hybrid. Disgusting. Upon further research, I found out they were the Colorado potato beetle, which I had only ever seen as an adult. Well, when you see the larva, you kind of have a problem. Well, when you see any form of an insect, whatever stage they're in, you might have an issue. But actually catching the larva is good because they can't reproduce at that in that stage. So if you can catch them then, kill them, get them gone, adios, then you'll knock the population back a little bit better than if you went after just the adults. Now, I'm sure there were eggs already laid. After that set, they can multiply and have many rotations of egg laying and generations in one season. They're not like one and done, okay? They're like the rats of the friggin' market gardening world. And then aphids are more like the mice. Interesting. We'll get there. Anyway, so yeah, I noticed this massive infestation. And the thing with the Colorado potato beetle, which makes them unique, is they eat the foliage, all right? Potatoes are in the nightshade family, Solanaceae family. So, like tomatoes, like peppers, like eggplant, their foliage is technically toxic. Most things don't eat it. You'll notice that deer, and now, there's isolated incidents, but deer don't generally eat eggplant foliage or pepper foliage or tomato foliage or even potato. Not to say that they won't. Not to say they won't walk by and take a sample, but by and large, those crops go untouched by the wildlife, for the exception of bugs. Bugs love them. Bugs love tomatoes. Bugs love peppers. Bugs love eggplant. And bugs love potatoes. So, luckily, also, you know what else? Mealworms. Mealworms like to eat potatoes. Sometimes when I harvest, I'll find a mealworm poking out of a spud. You gotta get rid of that guy. Eat the spud. Get rid of him. Whatever. Bugs. We don't do anything to the soil to mitigate that. Now, I wonder if putting a diatomaceous earth might mitigate some of the problem. And I thought about even dusting the plants with it. And that probably would do it. But here's what I did. So after I noticed the active infestation of our wonderful friend, the Colorado potato beetle, also known as the Leptinotarsa space decimelinata. All right, that is the scientific name. Leptinotarsa decimelinata. Oh my God. Anyway, quick overview here. The Colorado potato beetle is a beetle known for being a major pest of potato crops. It is about 10 millimeters long, pretty small, with a bright yellow-orange body and 5 bold brown stripes along the length of each of its wings. Now that is the stage I've normally seen it at. Full beetle, full exoskeleton. But what caught my eye was the larva stage. Let's see here if we got a picture. I wish I could throw it up. You guys could see it. I'm just not that advanced. Just not high tech. Maybe someday. Anyway, yeah, I saw them at their larva stage, and they were disgusting. Disgusting. And plentiful. So, first attempt, I went through with my sprayer. I use a neem oil, a little bit of Dawn dish soap in there. I know it sounds weird, but it does do the trick. Doesn't seem to hurt the plants. Phosphates. And went through, doused the crop with that stuff. That seemed to work for a couple days. Not to say that they were eradicated, because that just isn't how it works in like this type of farming. Now, if we were used like a synthetic poison or something, yeah, they would be a gonzo. But yeah, we don't do that. So I use these oil-based or water-based sprays that are derived from plants that seem to do the trick. Anthracnoid? No, that's another thing. Anyway, so I went through, doused the crop. That did the trick. I went to spray them again. Boom, sprayer breaks, because that's how it goes. And then I was kind of shit out of luck, as one would say. So I came up with another concept. My potato plants right now are almost 3 feet high. Good-looking things. Good-looking spuds, And I went through with this, not a stirrup hoe. For those of you in the gardening industry, you'll know what a stirrup hoe is. Technical term, claw hammer, ballpoint pen, technical terms. Anyway, there wasn't a stirrup hoe. It was a little cultivator tool I made with a piece of iron, with a piece of steel and just an old pole I had. And it does a trick. You get in, but around tiny plants or whatever, weed around them without having to get down on the ground and do it. But anyway, so I took that. I went up and down the 8 rows. We got 8 rows, I think. 9 rows of potatoes. And I just knocked every one of those bad boys off the foliage. Just went up and down the rows, shaking the plants, knocking it all down. And because when they're a larva, first of all, the beetles don't move fast. They do fly when they're fully grown, which makes it a little bit trickier. But the larva doesn't, and it moves slowly. So I went through, knocked all those bugs to the ground, and then I took out the flame weeder, and I barbecued those bugs. I had no other choice. I just went up and down the rows looking for those bright orange squishy jelly bean bodies, and I toasted them, man. I freaking toasted them. Had to. What else you gonna do? Knock them off again and hope for the best? No. So, and even doing that, I knew I wasn't gonna get them all. It's not a surefire way. Surefire way. Great song. And so I went through, burned them all, whatever I could see, trying to crawl back up the mounds, trying to crawl back up the stalks. I even burned some of the foliage on the plants, but you know what? I knew the plant was going to be okay. A little burn never hurt. Actually, that's all it does. So some of them got burnt, not many. A lot of bugs got burnt, and we did a noticeable impact on the population. So much so that a lot of the leaves are regrowing on some of the plants that were hit pretty hard. So it does work, but a little bit more labor intensive, which is the whole key to this type of agriculture. It's a little bit more labor intensive, but the payoff is great. The food, the nutrition, come on now. The sunlight, your body's making vitamin D. Come on, man. Anyway, the Colorado potato beetle. Worst time we've ever had with it. Hopefully, we won't be seeing it again. I'm going to start digging spuds here in the next couple of weeks. Get some of those out of the ground. Get them on a plate near you. And I also would like to eat some fresh spuds. Maybe some fresh spud salad. For those of you out there, that's potato salad. Okay. Spud salad. A spud ensemble. You know what I'm saying? We got red, white, and blue. I missed the holiday, but we do have red, white, and blue variety potatoes we grow specifically for that. Freedom spuds, or we've got to come up with a name for it. If there were beans, we could do Liberty Legumes, but that's not going to work. And, beans, yeah, we got green beans coming in hot. Those are being eaten by leafhoppers, which is another annoying but less, well, I wouldn't say less dangerous plant when it comes to bug when it comes to plant life, but just not as repulsive, tougher to see. Yeah. But so I went through last night. I got a brand new sprayer in because mine broke, as I said. Got this little 2-gallon that you wear, and it's battery powered, so there's no more pumping. And you just like push the button and it's on, and it's like spraying out everywhere. Got these different nozzles, easy, quick disconnect kind of thing. It's not a quick disconnect system, like the little pop-on, pop-off thing they screw on. But it came with like 4 different nozzles, a strap, and a charger. And it's pretty cool. I went through the garden last night, sprayed a tank of neem, and really got the green beans. We got so many green beans. Green beans are one of those things, 50 to 60 days and you got beans, you got to harvest. So like I like to tell a lot of our customers, I guess this is a good way to segue into farm stand questions we get. It's just one of those things. A lot of people are of that mindset, especially here in New England. Maybe it's different in other parts of the country, and it very well could be. I've not lived in other parts of the country, nor talked to many gardeners. But here in New England, a lot of backyard homesteaders and gardeners are of the mindset of the one and done, like plant it once, harvest once. There's so much time in the season, especially if you get started around Memorial Day. Most people do. It's May. Like right now, you could be harvesting your first crops of like carrots, beets, turnips, radishes, to name a few. Then you could also be harvesting greens basically year-round, depending on what your situation is, but definitely throughout the season. And now, backyard gardeners are starting to get their tomatoes in, their beans in, like coming into harvest, not into the ground. Zucchini, summer squash, cucumbers, those types of things. Eggplant's taking a little bit longer from what I've noticed. We're not growing any, but I see... I go to this other farm every day, and they have eggplant and they're growing, and it seems to be taking a little bit longer. Everything's taking a little bit longer. It's been a weird growing season. We got beautiful green tomatoes, but no, beautiful red ones yet for slicers or sauce. So optimism, but it's coming. It's coming. So. And that's kind of why we don't grow some of those crops, because everybody kind of grows them in their backyard, summer squash and zucchini especially. And I say that, and I'm going to try to do a fall crop. Tee-hee, didn't see that coming. But yeah, I'm going to try to do a fall crop of summer squash and zucchini, along with, I don't want to get into fall crops yet. We'll do that. We'll do that in a minute. So, farm stand questions. One of the main ones is, you can still plant right now? I say to people, you can still plant right now up till like the end of August almost. And that depends on what you're trying to grow. But if it's a crop like a green bean, you got to take a few things into account. They can't tolerate a shred of frost. Not even like a light frost. You get to 40, you're kind of pushing it. 40 degrees outside, you're kind of pushing it with a green bean. Not going to lie. I've done it. I've lost them. It sucks. But you can pretty much plant up until the middle of August. All right? For those of you starting to dabble with crop rotations or whatever, maybe do the beginning of August. Okay, that way you're picking by the end of September. Hopefully no frost, Knock on wood, weather's been weird, so you never really know. But beets, turnips, these are all 50 to 60 day crops. Carrots, you plant them now, you're picking mid-September. I have to wait due to spacing issues in our garden, but I will be planting fall carrot crops, fall turnip, and fall beet, kind of dropping the radish off to the wayside. And honestly, I got some problems with these turnips. The purple top globe turnip we never really grew up until like last year, and people loved them. And that's like your stereotypical turnip that you see in the store, that you see maybe around Thanksgiving. Some people will use a rutabaga, which is a type of turnip, around Thanksgiving, which is huge because it feeds so many people. But I'm talking about the little-ish softball, baseball size white ones that have purple on the top of them. Purple top turnip. Now, for a while, we grew this sweet salad turnip, and that was doing great, but the genetics changed, and I just can't get them to do what they used to do. So I might be phasing that one out of production. Also because I saw the demand for regular old turnips was just as high. And it didn't need any education. When we grew the sweet salad turnips, we had to educate people. Oh, these taste really good. You can eat them raw. You don't really need to cook them. They go great in your salad. They're sweet. They got like a honey butteriness to them. Very good, very good. But I digress. So I might be phasing those out of production. But anyway, right now, anything that's like 60 days or less, which is a lot, even some cucumbers are under that. You could plant cucumbers right now and still pick them in September. Like, come on. Don't give up. Don't give up. If you want more food, grow more food. Just pay attention to the weather. That being said, here's a few things we're harvesting right now. Sun gold tomatoes have started to come in slow, but they're coming. Carrots, beets, cucumbers also coming in, but slow. Saw some little fruits forming just yesterday. Garlic, green garlic coming in hot, very good. Leeks, which is a variety of onion. Okay, it's subtle, it's sweet, it's earthy, it's good. Kale, the end of the kale crop. Of course, we're harvesting romaine all the time. Potatoes will be coming in soon. And where I have the garlic, I got like 3.5 rows of garlic and 3 rows of bulb onions, kind of near each other, which I won't do again. We'll talk about that another time. I'm going to put carrots. I'm going to fill those beds with carrots. And where I dig potatoes, because I did that last year. I put carrot seed right where I had potato crops. They did amazing. I planted them it was the end of August and early September. I put in 2, 3, 4, 5 beds. 5 beds of carrots. Right where the potatoes were, and wow, they were amazing because the soil was so freaking loose. When you harvest potatoes, I dig with a pitchfork, so I get like a foot easily in the ground digging through this soil. I pull out any rocks, remove the rocks. Those are not friends. Those are New England potatoes. Hey, those are native. Hey, it's a different potato. What? We have a sticker that says it. Come on in. Anyway, and then we plant the root crops right there. Helps out a lot. Get some really good size on those carrots. So stay tuned. But anyway, we're also planning to do some fall crops. Like I was saying, thinking about doing a fall crop of summer squash and zucchini because I'm crazy. It'll sell probably in the fall because then it's like out of season. Or it'll be one of those things where we got to cook with it and try to like make zucchini breads delicious. Delicious. We have a award-winning recipe from the local, my mom makes a really good zucchini bread, and she's gotten awards at the fair and all that crap. It's very good. It's very good. Used to grow zucchini a lot. Now, again, everyone's got it. No one wants to buy it because they're growing it or the neighbor is giving them so much of it. And it doesn't store well. You can't really freeze it well. It doesn't jar worth of crap. And I'm sure there's people out there that are like, whoa, zucchini pickles, zucchini relish, what are you doing? No, I'm not doing that. Maybe, but probably not. Anyway, I digress. I gotta take a little sip here. Wet the old whistle. Oh, man. If you know me, you know what's in the cup. Roll it. Guys, if you're anything like me, your day starts the same pretty much every day. You wake up, you drag yourself over to the coffee pot, and you begin to brew yourself that sweet elixir that's going to keep you going all day. Now, where we differ is what's in that coffee pot. We're not big fans of the big commercial coffee companies. The flavor's just not there. We're big fans of Two Dogs Coffee Company, and for the past 2 seasons, that's all we've been drinking. And I mean literally 2 seasons, 2 full years. Two Dogs Coffee is the only coffee that we brew. Artisanally roasted, fresh to order, and ethically sourced, Two Dogs Coffee is the only thing that we've been drinking here at the farm. This is not a paid advertisement, okay? I just like them over there. Brittany and Gwillem, they do great business, and they create such a good product. I can't put it down. I'm having some right now. I'm a big fan of their original Frank's blend. Brazilian and Colombian beans, and it's a medium roast. Hints of caramel, chocolate, some other stuff. It's coffee. Two Dogs Coffee. Get some. Oh, yeah. Okay. Shameless plug over. God, I love that coffee. Anyway, so fall crops. I'm planting carrots, obviously turnips and beets, the trifecta. I would throw radish. Actually, I do have radish. I bought in some daikon radish seed because those bad boys got like, the biggest radish we had last fall was 2 pounds by itself. A 2-pound radish. Freaking thing was huge. And people do seem to like the daikon, so we're going to be putting those back into production this fall. I'm trying to do a brassica crop. Maybe 2, maybe 3, because I'm freaking nuts. I'm thinking cabbage, broccoli, and very minimal cauliflower. Now, cauliflower requires a little bit more maintenance than the other two. I was just telling one of our friends, Caitlin, the other day, she's got some growing, and they're starting to discolor. The cauliflower is. Because in order to keep it white, you have to do what's called folding the leaves over the head. Okay? What works really good is like a wooden clothespin. I've done that. Or like yarn. Something that won't mess up the foliage too much. But you definitely got to cover that head if you want to keep it white. Otherwise, it's going to turn brown. It's still totally edible. It just doesn't look as appealing. So, you want white cauliflower? You got to pinch those leaves, baby. So, yeah, I'm kind of thinking, might do a few crazy fall crops. Good to have. It's not like they won't sell. And, you know, if they don't, we can freeze them. And the other thing is the plant matter, like a broccoli plant, the cauliflower plant, cabbage plant, all these plants, the pigs will eat the foliage, the stalk. Everything that we don't eat, those pigs will turn into bacon. Or the chickens will turn into eggs. Or turkeys will turn into turkey. You know how it is. That's just how it goes. Full permaculture all the time. So yeah, we're thinking about doing some fall planting. You know, organic. I had 3 people ask me that this weekend. Are we organic? And that's another question we get a lot in the stand. So, no, we're not organic. We're beyond organic. Organic is it's an empty word. You know, because if you ask what the definition is, well, most people say, food that's grown without synthetic fertilizers or chemicals. Okay, well then, by that definition, we are in fact organic. However, we can't legally say that unless we pay for that, and, I'm just not into the extortion mafia here called Uncle Sam. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you're looking for clean food that doesn't have any weird chemical residues or anything like that on it, then yeah, come to us. That's what we got. We got real food, clean food. Real food, clean food. Side note, t-shirt idea. Cass makes a lot of delicious scones. I was thinking we could make a t-shirt that says, "Go big or go scone." Give me some feedback on that if you hear this. Anybody I want to know. Go big or go scone, baby. So, yeah. all planting. Organic. These questions in the stand. We also get asked a lot about other farms, you know. Have you been there? Do you know them? What's their stuff like? And sometimes we know, you know, sometimes we don't know. But we always want people to go and do it themselves. Go find out for yourself, you know. We don't talk about our personal relationships mostly with other businesses. Because I don't know if that's professional or not. I don't think it is. Anyway. I was recently on an episode of the Community Workbench podcast. Shout out to Matt and Kyle over there doing great work. Kyle's got some stuff going on, so Matt has begun to bring in guest hosts that do the Kyle job. That's camera and comments, camera inside comments, whatever you want to call it. So this past Monday, the 7th, I got to do that. I got to beat Kyle for the night and learn how to use a switchboard and, not choreograph. No, it's definitely not choreograph. Whatever, run the cameras, and that was fun. It was fun. We interviewed a local author by the name of Justin Margadona. It's a good name. It's a good book. I haven't fully read it, but I was reading it while we were getting set up and such, and I was kind of hooked a little bit, I'm not going to lie. His books are about dealing with grief, or help you deal with grief, or kind of help you get into the moving on mindset. Ooh, that should be a thing. The moving on mindset. But really, really interesting. I opened it up. I opened up to page 51, and the first little short snippet, whatever I read, gave me goosebumps. I was like, whoa. I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about that. It was like something about walking around in the wintertime at night, and, you know, you like see a deer. I don't want to say it. I don't want to spoil it. It's a good book. It's all about the eyes, baby. The eyes they follow. Anyway, so that was a fun podcast. I was happy to be a part of it. We'll do it again. Matt, if you hear me, anytime. I also told Matt I was going to work on an ad for him, and I have to do that. I just had technical issues, which is probably why the show now seems like a different upbeat genre a little bit, because I just sat here for 30 minutes while my computer just took a crap on itself. And now it's back working, knock on wood. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's see, what else do we get questions in the stands? Some of the questions we get are, the chickens right here, which are their laying hens. The laying hen barn shares space with the stand. So we have a wall in there, and on the other side is the chickens, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people come up and they think, oh, these are the chickens we eat. No, absolutely not. These are laying hens. We don't eat these. Some people eat these, but we don't eat these. Americans would not eat these. They're going to taste completely different. You can't just cook it. You have to, like, cook it a certain way and blah, blah, blah. So, no, these are hens. When you come to the farm and you see the chickens in the barn, those are laying hens. Right now, most of our meat birds are up the road at Little Dipper. Shout out to Venus and Lori over at Little Dipper Farm. Got to have you guys on the show, but I don't want to have any guests on. I'm at this weird point right now where I got to redo the office/studio and make it a little bit more welcoming and less like work. And then I'm going to have more guests on. So people have been asking about guests. There's a bunch of people that have said they'll come on. I just got to I got to get to it, man. There's so much going on. It's July. I don't even know how I have time to do this episode right now. I've already got an hour plus into it, even though it's only going to come out to be a half an hour. It's because for 30 minutes my computer didn't work. What else is going on? Oh, yeah, tomorrow is Chicken Day. Our third Chicken Day. We did May, June. Yeah. Our third Chicken Day of the season. We're going to have the lineup. Kim, Gavin, possibly Gavin's mom, Shannon, Bruce, Cassidy, and myself. And in the morning, like, honestly, last time we did 200 birds in about 6 to 8 hours, killed, packaged. Okay? I hope we can do that again. You know, I start around 4, sometimes 3:30. It depends on when I wake up. But I start around 4. Crew shows up around 4. We get rolling. I bought an ice machine that I've got to work on today, cleaning it all up. I know it. I got it making ice last night, so I know that's going to work. But I got to pressure wash this bad boy, bleach this thing. I mean, oh man, and all the regulations in restaurants, you would think that they'd be better or actually do something, because this thing was so caked in grease. I can't even explain to you how disgusting the outside of this thing was. Like, they never wiped it down a single time. And it came out of a local restaurant. Which one? I don't know. That's what I was told by the auction house. So that could be fake too. I don't know. But anyway, so bad. So I got to pressure wash that bad boy, run some bleach through it. I want to clean it all up so I could stop buying ice. I can't tell you guys how much ice I have purchased for Chicken Day over the past few years, but buying the ice machine was necessary. 100% necessary. Downside, the condenser itself, like the ice machine maker part, throws off some heat. It warmed up the room pretty quickly yesterday, and I was like, oh, damn, this is not great. But, you know what? I'll run a few fans. Tomorrow doesn't look too hot. Tuesday's butcher going to be hotter, but we're going to have less birds, so we'll be done sooner. So 200-ish. I'm going to probably push for 230, so we have whole birds for the menu, because people love the whole chicken. And then we're going to do another like 170 or 100, 150, 170 the next day, and those will all be parted out, seal-mealed by cuts, wings, breasts, bone in, bone out. Drumsticks, thighs, you know the drill. It'll be good. It'll be good. Third chicken day of the season, which means chicken season's halfway over, because we'll have, or almost halfway over. Flock share is halfway over after tomorrow. Our flock share program, which has been a success, big hit. Going to keep doing that. People love the fresh chicken. I'd really like to get it to a point where y'all could pick up on a weekend. Okay? I would love for you guys, all you people, to not have to worry and not have to stress about getting out of work late, blah, 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 getting to the farm, blah, blah, blah. We know it all. Listen, I get it. Life gets in the way. But nothing can stop you from getting delicious chicken if you're determined. And a lot of people are. I'd like to do it on a weekend. I don't have the facility for that yet. Once we put in a better facility so we can butcher out of sight, out of mind, people don't have to like show up to the farm stand and be like, why are you killing chickens right now? So we'll see. You know, if I got a walk-in cooler, I could ostensibly butcher on Friday. It would mess up delivery. Ugh. See? You run a business. You figure out logistics. Ain't easy being cheesy. Anyway, let's see. What else? We covered the Colorado Potato BEETLE. Oh, man, I need more Two Dogs coffee. 1 cup ain't enough. We covered the pests, farm stand questions. A lot of people want to know if the food's organic, and they need a little education on what these terms mean. Yesterday I also got, is it GMO free? GMO free. We're not GMO free, right? Your parents were unrelated. They bred, they made you. You're a hybrid. You're a genetically modified organism. GMO is a buzzword. It's a buzz term. It's one of those 3-letter agencies that nobody likes, just like the FBI. GMO. See? No one likes them. So, but there's a lot of misunderstanding behind it. We've talked about it before, and we met a nice lady yesterday. I just kind of explained to her what it really means and what you should be looking out for, which is GEO, genetically engineered. That takes place in a petri dish, not in the sheets, if you know what I'm saying. Because hybrids happen naturally, okay? You could cross-pollinate 2 things by accident, and boom, you have a GMO. So that doesn't inherently make it bad. In fact, hybrids, most livestock are hybrids. Now they're purebred, but because they breed true now. And a lot of plants are the same way, but for a long time, they were just crossing 2 different strains to make the baby, to make the hybrid. And then still in farming, that takes place. Case in point, the pigs that we used to raise were a crossbred. They were Duroc Landrace mix, and now we just raise straight Yorkshires. Not for any one reason other than the price is good and they grow just fine, and they're accessible. baby pigs of good quality are hard to find. So if anyone out there listening is like, I want to open a pig breeding farm, do it. We freaking need it, man. We freaking need it. Local piglets. Come on. I drive all the way to freaking Holyoke every year. That ain't effective. It costs me 3 times as much to buy piglets in the spring than it would to keep and breed and feed and raise 2 female sows. I've talked about this before. At some point, we'll probably get into pig breeding because it just makes more sense to do it yourself on site. The big gamble with that is if you have any losses. So then it's more like, I got to have 4 sows, and then whatever extra babies I have, I can just offload. Totally true. Still be cheaper. It's crazy. The big expense is in the building. I got to build another building. And I don't want to do that right now, as you can imagine. I would like a year of no big projects. That would be great. Unfortunately, that ain't this season. Hopefully next season, but probably not. But maybe, hopefully, but probably not. Projects abound. We're on the upward momentum, and they just keep popping up. So, can't say no to opportunities sometimes. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I think I covered everything I was wanting to cover. I'm sure there's more, but we are coming up on our 50th episode, which I'm probably going to have Cass on for, and we'll probably do a giveaway. And if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you want to hear talked about on the 50th, maybe we'll do an SGF podcast review. We can go over some of our most famous episodes, best interviews, things like that. That would be a good idea. Maybe that's what we'll do. See, I use the show to talk out my ideas sometimes, and boom, here it comes. Right now we're on episode 47, so you got to listen to me 3 more times anyway, or 2 more times anyway before we get there, plus this one. So, whatever. Guys, you're not going to hear it today, but the stand is open now on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 4. If you want to come on out and see the faces behind all the stuff that we talk about, then come on out. Come on out, come see us. We're easy to find. It's a beaten path, but we're there. And we don't leave often, so odds are good you'll find us. But please, if you're not going to come on the weekend, reach out. Don't just show up. We don't appreciate that as business owners. Come on. We live where we work where we live. We appreciate a little bit of, whatever that is. Politeness. Manners. I don't know. Whatever. That's going to do it for this episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I hope you found it informational and educational, and if not, that's a shame. Bye-bye. Listening to the Simply Growing Food Podcast. If you liked it, please share us with a friend or a family member. We appreciate your support. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to hear us talk about. If you got questions about farming, if you got questions about what you're eating, please send it to us. You can send it to us at www.simplygrowingfood.com, or you can send us an email at simplygrowingfood@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Simply Growing Food Podcast, or just find us on Facebook under Daigle Farm. Give us a Google for Daigle Farm. You'll find us. We appreciate the support. Thanks for all of it.